Happy morning, children. Today we will discuss about, in the last class we were discussing about force, effects of force, balanced force, unbalanced force, and resultant force. Next, we will continue with the Newton's laws of motions and other part of it. So, what do you mean by the Newton's first law of motion or the law of inertia? What do you mean by the term inertia? Inertia means resist to change its motion. It opposes to change its motion. That is nothing but inertia. Suppose an object, if it is at rest, it continues to be at rest. It just wants to be at rest. Okay, if suppose an object is in motion, it continues to be in motion. So here, higher the mass, more will be the inertia. So we can tell like this, inertia is directly proportional to its mass. Let us see the statement now. An object at rest tends to remain at rest, and an object in motion tends to remain in motion at constant velocity, means with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by a net force. Here, what is going to happen here? Suppose a body, take any other object, take any other body. Suppose a bus is moving, it tends to be in motion unless some external forces acting upon it. Suppose external force in the sense means it's a brake in the bus. You can take as a brake, and in terms of force we can take it as a opposite force. It is suppose a ball is at rest. If you want to kick a ball, automatically ball will not move. It's not a living thing to move. As soon as you tell, the ball will not move. So what do you want to do? You need to apply some external force to bring motion in that ball or any other body. It is like that. So if the ball is in motion, it tends to be in motion unless some external force is acting upon it. So that is nothing but your inertia. So these are the things we have come across inertia. An object at rest tends to remain at rest, and an object in motion tends to remain in motion at constant velocity with a constant speed, like that. Next, suppose an object at rest is at rest. Suppose you have kept some ball or any other object on the table. Why the ball or any object will not fall down? Because there is a reason that the balanced force is acting upon it. How it is going to acting the balanced force? There are two types of force here. So one is upward force, another one is downward force. You are keeping some object on the table. That object also, it is exhibiting some force. That is a downward force, because an object has got mass as well as the acceleration due to gravity. So the gravitation pull always towards down, isn't it? So it is an object which is kept on the table is giving a downward force. At the same time, the table is also giving a upward force. So that's why it is balancing. The object is in the same place. So an object remains at rest because the forces acting on it are balanced, not because there are no forces acting upon it. The downward force mg of gravity is balanced by an upward force of the table. Here downward force is given by the object and upward force is given by the table here. Next, we'll see the acceleration is the rate of change in velocity. Acceleration is nothing but rate of change of velocity. As we all know, a change in speed in magnitude means nothing but 20 meter per second, 40 meter per second is like that. A change in direction, if the body is moving, means it can able to change its direction also. And a change in both magnitude, speed and direction, it can able to change its magnitude, means speed also it can change, and it can change its direction also. So, and you can restate the Newton's first law of motion like this. The velocity of an object remains unchanged unless acted upon by a net force. It's obviously right. If it is moving with some velocity, so unless some external force is acting on it, it tends to be in its own velocity. So an object, or you can tell like this, an object will experience acceleration if acted upon by a net force. Suppose if it is moving, object will experience acceleration, means if it is moving with some velocity, some other external force, already it is moving with some velocity, some 20 meter per second, okay, kilometer per second, something like that. So if you apply some more force through it, what is going to happen? The body gets accelerated. You can restate like this also. So before going to video, we will discuss about we will come across everyday situation of Newton's laws of motion. Here, what is the your everyday life situation? A person standing in a bus, okay, falls backward when bus starts moving suddenly. So here, you are standing in a bus. The bus is at rest. You are also at rest. You are standing in a bus. Our legs will be in contact with the bus, obviously, when you are standing inside your bus. Okay. As the bus starts moving, what is going to happen here? As the bus starts moving, your legs will be in contact with the bus. Your legs also starts moving with that, but your upper portion of the body will not be in contact with the bus. So what is happening here? As soon as the bus starts, along with the bus, your legs also starts moving, but upper portion of your body, it's not ready to move. That's why you tends to fall backward. So one more life situation is a person standing in a moving bus falls forward if driver applies brake suddenly. This is also same thing. So bus is in motion already. Your legs are in contact with the bus. So along with the bus, your legs also, your whole body is also moving. As soon as the bus stops, what's going to happen? Your lower portion of the body comes to rest, means legs will comes to rest, and your upper portion of the body, it tends to be in motion. That's why all of a sudden when the bus stops, your body tends to fall forward. These are the two everyday life situations. Let us watch one small video with respect to inertia.
To understand inertia, we need to look at Newton's first law of motion again. Here it is. In simple words, this means that objects tend to keep on doing what they are doing. It is the natural tendency of every object to resist change in their state of motion. If they are at rest, they would prefer staying at rest, and if they are moving at a constant velocity, they would want to continue doing so. This tendency of objects is called nothing but inertia. It's the natural tendency of an object to resist change in its state of motion. Yes, you already knew what inertia is. And yes, Newton's first law of motion is also called the law of inertia. Do you think all objects have the same inertia? All objects resist changes to their state of motion, right? So all should have the same inertia, correct? Well, not really. Because inertia tells us how strong an object's tendency is to resist change in its state of motion. Think of it like this. There's a tiny brick kept on a table next to a relatively larger and a heavier brick. Which one do you think would be easier to push? Without doubt, the tiny brick, correct? Yes, but why is that? It's because the heavier brick's tendency to resist change in motion is more. The heavier the object, the more is its tendency to resist the change in motion. The more mass an object has, greater will be its inertia. So if we apply equal force to both these bricks, the tiny brick will move further as compared to the larger brick. The heavier brick has more inertia. How can we relate inertia and mass? Inertia is the tendency of an object to resist changes to its state of motion, and the mass of an object is the measure of its inertia. In the next part of this video, we will understand this relation with a few interesting examples.
So what did you understand from this? So it is as simple as that, as I have shown in the video. So larger the mass, larger will be the inertia. Okay, more force is required to pull or push the object. Smaller the mass, lower will be the inertia, and less force is required to move an object here. So this is all about your Newton's first law of motion. In the next class, we will discuss about Newton's second law of motion, that is nothing but law of momentum, that is P is equal to m into v, or you can write as F is equal to mass into acceleration, and we will derive one small derivation with respect to a momentum. Okay, I hope it is clear. If there is if you want some more, please adjust with this video. I couldn't able to take it properly. If there is any correction, please adjust to it. If you have any doubts, please come back to me. We will discuss Newton's second law of motion in the next class. Thank you, children.